Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Sully Squad. We got a lot to get into tonight. We got Lincoln Financial South down there in Washington. Great shout out to Philly Sports Trips with a great trip. A lot of the guys from EOP were down there. I know Big Al was down there. Joey was down there. And my man right here at the bottom of my screen, my man Mike Lauro, he's on our show tonight as our filling in for my man Diego. He's going to fill us in on that trip. So we'll get right into it here. I got my man Killer to my left.
What's up, guys?
I got Euro Paul to the top right.
What's up, everybody?
And I got my man Mike Lauro, usually on the Gobbler Show, but he's filling in for Diego tonight on the Sully Squad. What's up, Mike? How you doing, bro?
What's going on, guys? Thank you for having me. I just want to apologize for my voice. As you can hear, I am very hoarse, but it was a tremendous experience.
Well, hey, you know what? There's a big difference between hoarse and horny, because I know the coach in Boston, he got in trouble for being horny, right?
I guess so. Hey, good for him.
Yeah, but nah, man. I'll tell you, I was a little jealous, man. You know, I was sitting there like banging my head, like, damn, I wish I had made this trip, because it looked like you guys had a phenomenal time, and the game. I mean,
dude, the game was the icing on the cake, and I'm not gonna lie. I know. You know, you always see us. We run ads for this Philly Sports Trips, and I'm going to tell you guys now. I'm doing the Giants one in December. Like, I already came home. I talked to my wife. I was like, we are doing this. I'm definitely doing it. I had such a great time yesterday. The atmosphere, the bus. I mean, listen. I don't get up 6:40, and I don't get up 6:40. Oh, here he goes. Really? Are you kidding me?
We're gonna parasol that.
I figured
we're 2 minutes
horny.
in.
We'd have to talk about. Well, you know, Pat was horny yesterday watching his boy Carson. In fact, he probably wanted to go and give him a nice massage because Carson was getting his ass kicked.
Oh my God, bro! To hear, like, my brother was watching the game, and I was texting some of my friends. I'm like, dude, are you guys hearing this? Like, is it coming through the TV? And he was like, dude, he goes, it sounds like you're at the link. He goes, like, my buddy texted me back, he goes, are they doing a Carson chant? I was like, oh, yeah, loud. If I had to estimate, I would have to say, honestly, it was probably 70-30 Eagles fans down there. I mean, dude, there was buses everywhere, and that's not even including the people that drove down.
Wow. I didn't know Washington had any fans.
I mean, they do. Listen, the Redskins, or the former Redskin team, okay, they do. They got a rich tradition. Sure I just think they're all out on this owner. I think once they change owners, I think they'll be back. Another weird thing I saw down there yesterday, a lot of Cowboy fans, which was really a ton. And I mean, dude, they were walking around wearing their Cowboy stuff. And I was like, and now my buddy who I went with, my buddy Sean, okay, he's a diehard Cowboys fan. But he's kind of like Paul Spencer in a way. You know, like, he doesn't throw to 4 Super Bowls or 5 Super Bowls or
brag about it.
Right. Like, and it was funny, like, he noticed it. And he kind of looked and he was like, Cowboys? And the guy was like, yeah, that's right, that's my team or whatever. And my buddy's like, it's my team too, bro. But, like, he literally looked at him. He was like, dude, you're a fraud.
Yeah, I just was going to say that, dude.
He's like, I'm at an Eagles-Washington game. He's like, I'm not wearing any other colors. He's like, I'm dressed. He's like, I'm here to watch the game. He's like, what are you doing wearing your jersey? He's like, we don't play today. He's like, you guys are some fraud fans down here. Like, he called this dude a fraud right to his face. But there was a ton of Cowboys fans. Like, I looked at one dude, looked at him, I said, bro, you're at the wrong game.
Yo, I was at the Phillies-Toronto game last week, and there was a lot of Mets fans wearing Mets jerseys there. I said the same thing. I'm like, why are you wearing a Mets jersey and not even playing here?
Yeah, I mean, it's really weird. Like, I saw that once with, like, hockey. Like, I went to a Flyers-Bruins game, and some asshole decided to walk in the TD Garden Center with a Canadiens jersey. Don't ask me why he did that, but he definitely got looks. But, like, I just didn't understand it. But
I was going to say, especially up there, because I know maybe times have changed as the years have gone on, but I remember when I started watching hocky, I mean, you know, Montreal-Boston was like a huge-ass rivalry.
Oh, yeah, they hate each other.
Well, it simmered down a little bit, but definitely it's still something there, definitely.
Yeah, there's definitely hate there. Definitely hate. But, I mean, the one thing that I saw down there yesterday was the Eagles players themselves, they knew where we were. Because every time they would do something, like, it was nuts, dude. Like, that crowd got so loud when Washington had the ball. They had to go to a silent count.
Yeah.
Like, we were making them jump off sides. And I was like, wow, I was like, this is really crazy. Now, I was there at the game in 19 when we had Wentz, and Wentz beat him with the 4 guys from Wawa playing wide receiver.
Right.
I was at that game. Dude, there was more Eagle fans down there this time than there was then.
There always is, man. It's just crazy how we flock and we go anywhere. And
it's not even that far a drive. It was a 2-hour drive.
It's not. It's
roughly a little more than 2 hours, but I'll tell you what, like I said, we promote Philly sports trips. I'm going to sit here and say it right here, right now. Dude, listen, I paid $325 to go down there. I'm going to pay another $325 to go to Meadowlands. Dude, they fed you on the bus going to it. There's no shortage of alcohol,
right?
Beer, for the ride up.
Yeah.
You get a 3-hour tailgate. The food was great.
Right.
That's the icing on the cake, yeah.
Yes, and here's the thing: they also had non-alcoholic stuff, but they also had like a bar there too. Like, I seen people getting double fisting, like, hey, whatever. But just that, the bus ride to and from and the tailgate was worth $325. Like, the game was something. The game was the icing on the cake. And we played well.
Yeah, I was going to say, our man Freddie Burns here from EOP. You could check him out. He does a show each week. Freddie, you have to tell me which night exactly. And also, he does Eagles pre halftime and post game show. We were on with him yesterday. It was a great show.
Good show, man.
I'm looking forward to being on with him. Actually, I can't wait for Sunday.
Yeah, so Freddie says, how were the Redskins fans reacting to all the Eagles fans? And you are right, Philly sports trips is different. Yeah, that's totally true. We got another. Let me give this guy a shout out here. We got a guy, Steve. Steve, thanks for checking in.
What's up, Steve?
He says, go Eagles, fly, Eagles, fly. And then we got another comment here. We were talking about the Cowboys game. Well, there's a big Monday night game tonight. We got the 2-0 New York Giants versus the Cowboys, and Mike, I know your favorite player, Kayvon Thibodeau, will be making his Monday Night Football debut tonight.
Yeah, and listen, I'm not knocking him because he's with the Giants. It doesn't matter what team took him. You already know how I feel about Kayvon Thibodeau. So, it just so happens he went to a division rival, and we both know. Everybody here knows my kid's a Giants fan, my son. So I've been telling him since day one he's going to be a bust. I don't care that he's making his debut. What's going to be funny? He's going to make his debut tonight, and he's going to get eaten up by 50-year-old Jason Peters. Like, Kayvon Thibodeau's not.
That's if he doesn't go off sides.
Right.
And that's if Jason Peters don't get injured in the first couple plays.
Right.
Got a comment from Steve. I want to do a podcast with you all. Hey, man, the more the merrier, man. Sounds good. Everybody wants to hop on. Everybody wants to hop on the Sully squad, right?
Hey, look, it's the place.
Come one, come all. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, look, the Sully squad's the place to be on a Monday night, bro. Leading up to Monday Night Football. Hey, what better place to be? But getting back to what we were talking about, the atmosphere down there, I'm going to answer Freddie's question. A lot of the Redskins fans were really cool. There was one. This guy had to be. I swear to God, he looked like a just a little taller. I'd say he's probably like 5'3", 5'4". Short little dude.
Was it John Lieb? Was it John Lieb?
Lieb was probably 2 inches bigger than this dude. All right, but he was walking around and he walked up to this Eagles fan that was like 6'6".
Probably the biggest dude. I was just gonna say.
Yeah, and he starts mouthing off at the Eagles fan. The Eagle fan takes a puff of his cigarette, looks down at him, and says, "My man, you got to be this tall," and literally put it over his head. He goes, "You got to be this tall to ride this ride." He's like, "So you better take your ass right back to Kittyland where you belong." He said, "Because I'm not the one." And we all started laughing. So the dude started going to each one of us as we were laughing. Dude, he got to me. I was like, "Dude, just keep it moving." I was like, I said, "You're more closer to my height than you are either one of these two guys." I said, "I'll knock you back into your ancestry, dude." I was like, "Keep it moving." I was like, I said, That's what I told him. I said, look, man, I said, we ain't here for none of that. I said, I don't know why you're getting so mad. I was like, you already knew your team sucked going into the year. I said, don't get mad. And he was like, well, I'm tired of you Eagle fans coming down here. I said, bro, I said, you ought to thank the Eagle fans. I said, because of us buying tickets and coming down here, I said, all your homies are back home watching the game for nothing.
Yeah.
I was like, I said, you went and got a sellout. I'm like, shit, dude, sit back and watch the game. But majority of them were really cool. There was an older guy that was sitting probably like across the aisle from me, but like a couple rows down. When he went to get up, you know, this young dude was hammered. And he wanted to give this guy, and as soon as he started, I said, yo, I like kind of stopped him. I said, yo, you don't do that. I was like, number one, he's your elder. Number two, I was like, you don't act like that at all. I was like, I said, have some fucking class. Pardon my language. So I looked at the guy. I was like, sorry about that. I said, a few of our village idiots came on the fucking trip. And he started laughing. He goes, listen. He goes, I've been a season ticket holder for 40 years. He goes, I've seen guys worse than him. But he was great. He goes, listen. He goes, I'm going to tell you this right now. And he was an older dude. He goes, I've seen a lot of football between here and RFK with a lot of different teams. He said, your Eagle team is something special.
Yeah.
Now, to have somebody from an opposing fan base say that, like, to me, that kind of opened my eyes a little bit. I was like, whoa. I said, you think so? He said, they're not only the best team in the NFC. He said, they're going to go to the Super Bowl. He goes, and if they play the Bills, he goes, I think y'all going to kick the Bills' ass. Like, he said it just like that. He said, this may be y'all year. He goes, they look, but other than that, other than the little dude trying to pick a fight with Golly Green Giant, the rest of the Skins fans, they couldn't have been any cooler. And you know, we were kind of cool with them back. We were like, yo, go beat Dallas next week. And they're like, yeah, now that's something we can all agree on.
Yeah, well, it's funny. You were talking about the little Skins fan. It got me thinking, remember Eddie Murphy? I think it was either Raw or Delirious, where he talks about the little Italian
dude. That's Raw.
Yeah, Raw, yeah. He's like, that's okay, little guy. He's like, you just saw Rocky. Then like half hour later, he's got like Jujubee shoved up his ass.
Yeah. But anyway, dude, listen, this is why, like I said before we went live and we were all talking, I was like, bro, like I already had my mind made up that I was doing a New York trip as soon as I saw the tailgate. To have 1,200 people in the tailgate, and I mean, dude, there were some names down there, you know? I don't know. Not all of them are bad, Al. Not all of them. I mean, you met my boy yesterday. He wasn't too bad. But, yeah, it was really funny. Like, just walking around and seeing all these different guys that, like, you see on YouTube or you see on Twitter. And you get to meet them. And then you see some of the guys like, you know, Kincaid. Mm-hmm. You know, walking up and talking with Kincaid, seeing Johnny Barcher, Vinnie Quinn. Which Vinnie Quinn had the jersey of the day. I walk up there to see him, right? No bullshit. You'll see the picture. I didn't put it up, but I'll put it up probably later on today. I give him a hug, right? We're talking. He's wearing a Redskins jersey. I'm like, dude. I'm like, what the hell's up with the Heath Schuler jersey? He's like, Heath Schuler. He takes it off, and he looks, and it's a McNabb jersey, a McNabb number 5.
Oh,
and he wore it into the stadium. I was dying.
Wow, we got our man Steve, because I want to get into, you know, let's get in, you know, obviously we're into the atmosphere and everything, and the atmosphere was great, and I think you guys played a good role into this, because it says, you know, Steve says here, I love when they sacked Carson Wentz plenty of times yesterday, and I think you guys as fans had a role in that, because, you know, making so much noise. I mean, you know,
it was loud. I know they jumped off at least 3 or 4 times, and I mean, in the first 3 series, they were getting backed up. But
right.
Yeah. Carson looked off yesterday. He looked real rattled. Yeah. But, I mean, taking 4 sacks in the first 2 series will do that. Got to give props to Gannon, man, and the guys up front. They really got after them.
Yeah, they did. I mean, that's what I was going to say. I mean, hey, man, you know, the first week, you know, obviously, you know, the first week was, you know, it was glorified. Pre-season. It was a glorified preseason game. Eagles struggled with tackling. But ever since then, the defense has been elite, you know, so you can't and Minnesota, you know, Minnesota has a lot of weapons, and honestly, this Washington team has a lot of weapons. I mean, you look at Washington's receiving core. You got McLaurin, you got the young kid Dotson. He's been Curtis Samuel. I mean, The kid Dotson looked really good the first game, and first 2 games, and I think he's going to be really good. He had a big drop.
He was invisible yesterday. He was invisible, and I was so mad because I played a parlay, a same game parlay, and I actually had him catching a touchdown in it because I thought I talked to you on the pregame when I was with Al and Joe. I said 41-17, and like midway through that second quarter, I kind of looked over at my buddy and was like,
"You were looking right."
I was like, "I think I'm looking good as far as the Eagles." I said, "But I don't know about Washington." Yeah. So, but let me ask you guys a question.
Yeah.
Watching it from home, did it really seem like that the Eagles, like where we were sitting at, we could see, like, I just want to bring this up. That touchdown that they scored, okay, where we were sitting at, it looked like he was down before that ball ever crossed. And there was no review, no nothing. It was so quick.
You talking about the
Redskins. I'm sorry, the Commanders.
Yeah. Honestly, I thought he got in myself. I mean, we were up by so much, dude. Like, I mean, that was like the very end of the game. If the game was closer, it would have been more like, hey, we better review that. But it was almost like a Scribini at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just wanted to see what you guys, how it looked on TV. Because the replay they showed at the stadium and looking at it live, it didn't look like he got in. And, like, I was sitting on basically just off of the goal line. You know what I mean? So, but it was just crazy. And I'll tell you what, that Devontae Smith catch happened right in front of us. And I'll tell you what,
that couldn't have been a better catch, man. That acrobatic catch.
I thought he was dead.
Well, that was awesome.
Well, here was Steve brings up a point here because that pass to Devontae Smith in the first half, that could have been called back. So Steve brings up a point here. He says, what was so funny was the Commanders throw that challenge flag. Thank God the Eagles ran that play real quick.
Yep.
That was a big one. And Steve brings up another point. He said, let's talk about the Phillies. Steve, we'll be getting into the Phillies in a little bit because, we all know the Phillies got a big week coming up, But, so we'll be getting into the Phillies. But yeah, man, it's, it was just a great game all around. Defensive line really stepped up.
Defensive front.
All you fans stepped up, and so it gets me. And I gotta ask this question, man. I mean, we got a quarterback right now that if you're looking at the MVP race, and Jalen Hurts has got to be up there with like I know we're only 3 weeks in, Jackson. But you got Lamar Jackson in there. Josh Allen, although he wasn't as good yesterday, but Jalen Hurts is right up there 3 weeks in for MVP. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, he only has 1 turnover in 3 games, right? Only 1 pick, no fumbles or nothing. So, I mean, he's making smart decisions. Yeah. He's leading this team. Yeah, I mean, I think he's definitely up there. It was 1,000 yards already in 3 games between rushing and passing.
He's surveying that field real well, too. He's picking and choosing his receivers. He's got 2 number ones, Brown, Devontae, and Pascal came up with some pretty key catches. And Quez was pretty good with those holding penalties, which really helped us out too. And Dallas, like me and Joey said, he played a big part too. He looked good.
Yeah. Do you think his agent can't even sit below a desk right now? He's so excited. Yeah. I mean, because you figure, Jalen. I mean, you look right now, man. I mean, he keeps playing like this. Howie's going to have to pony up. Jalen's going to be making over 40 a year.
Yeah, what's crazy too is he's solidifying himself as our starter, and we have 2 first-round picks next year. So we don't have to waste on the quarterback.
Well, and that
focus on other areas. You're right.
Yeah.
That's key because Mike and I do a college football show on the Wednesday nights at 8:00 on the Out of Box Network, and we were talking about it last week. Coming into this year. The general consensus was you had like 2 or 3 like really top-notch quarterbacks coming out, and Mike, I know me and you were talking about it. I mean, we're not as sold on these young guys as we thought we would be, correct?
No, not at all. And like we were sitting here, like I said, we were talking about a couple the last Wednesday, and like I'm not sold on Stroud. I'm not sold on Bryce Young. The only kid I'm sold on that I think is going to be a really good I think a really good pro quarterback is the kid Ewers from Texas.
Yeah.
Lame, I mean, you agree on that.
Banged up shoulder.
Yeah, but
I know
he's going to heal, but he's probably going to be the best prospect out of them all. Getting on your point about Jalen Hurts and being an MVP candidate, the one thing I'm loving from him right now is he's waiting to last before he takes off. If you watch him in the pocket, dude, he's reading. And what he's doing,
surveying that field, yeah.
He's surveying the field. But listen, even if somebody comes towards him, he just slide steps. He slides and gets out the way, but his eyes are still downfield.
He's panic mode.
Well, we got a comment here. A gentleman by the name of Michael C. Green. He says he's still a work in progress. He isn't seeing the whole field yet. Markedly better than last year. I actually kind of. I mean, I'm not, hey, let's be honest. I mean, it's 3 games in, so I'm not ready to anoint him in the Canton just yet. You know what I mean? So I agree with you there, Mike. But the bottom line is, though, I mean, to me, these last 2 weeks, the Detroit game, he played extremely well, but he did a lot of running. He did a lot of stuff he did last year. The thing that's really sold me was the Minnesota game last week, hanging in that pocket, making plays. And the first half of this week, he was hanging in the pocket, making plays, and that's the next step in his progression. I mean, if he can make plays consistently from the pocket, then the sky's the limit for this kid.
I just love the fact that he's shown a real. I'm not going to say a step. He took a leap forward.
Oh yeah.
And stop and think about it. Like I said, if he's going to continue to stay in this offense, and this is the offense going to run, how much better do you think he's going to get in the future?
True.
You know what I mean? And like you said, Howie's got the 2 first-round picks. Now you don't have to draft for a quarterback. You could start putting that money other places, like beefing up that defensive line, beefing up the offensive line, maybe get a safety.
The missing pieces, and just addressing that need.
And you're probably going to need a young corner, because if you were going to, a edge rusher, young corner, because if you're going to pay Jalen Hurts all this money, you're not going to be able to re-sign a guy like Bradbury. You know what I'm saying? Because
I think Bradbury's only a 1-year guy anyway. If you take a look though, they have Zach McPherson on the chair. Don't forget they drafted him too, and Zach's a good cover corner. So I think he's just, he has to get time. He's got Bradbury in front of him, but he's in the wings waiting to come in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but you look at Jalen Hurts' numbers yesterday, 22 out of 35, 340, 3 touchdowns, and you think about that. I mean, I think he started 1 out of 5 or 1 out of 6. Mm-hmm. So do you figure after that point, he's what? 1 out of 5, 1 out of 6. So basically he's 22 out or 21 out of 28 or something. The rest of that point for 340. I mean, these, that's elite level play. You know what I'm saying?
It is. I'll tell you what, that throw he made to A.J. Brown on the sideline. Oh man, it was just bad. Hey, I'm thinking we're getting some. I think some of that Wednesday night things starting to come over here, Joey.
Okay. Well, Psych homie, we'll take it, man. Thank you. Thanks for checking in, bro. Appreciate it. Here's our man, Chris Rapizzi. Yo, homie. Sorry so late.
Chris?
What's up, man?
What's
How
up,
you doing,
Chris?
bro?
What's up, man?
And then this, Dues? What up, gentlemen? Dawes? Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for checking in, bro.
What's up, Dawes?
Yeah, well, if it was the guys from Sunday, it would probably be Harry Balls and, Dixie Normus and, so we haven't seen them yet.
Not yet.
Hugh Jitcock, excuse me, Hey, how you doing, man? We're doing good, man. Yo, Eagles win yesterday. I know Mike's doing good. Maybe you're probably a little tired, bro.
Bro, I am beat. I had to go to work today. And guess what? For the Giants one, I'm taking I already told my boss, I said, Giants game in December, I was like, I'm taking a mental health day, personal, sick, whatever. I won't be in that Monday. Because he heard my voice. He was like, oh, God. So,
Chris Rapizzi says, what's going on with Sanders? Can't get into your. Well, you know what? The second, when you look at it, the second half of that game, they kind of knew the Eagles were going to run the ball, and Washington's defensive front is
stacked.
Is pretty good. So
You got Allen.
Miles Sanders has been killing it. I mean, yesterday he was 15 out of 46, a 3.1 yard average. I mean, it's sometimes, and also, a big thing. Landon Dickerson was banged up.
Yeah, Opeta came in, and he wasn't good.
That impacted the run game right here. We got another comment here from Michael C. Green. He's talking about Jalen Hurts. He says, he's hanging in longer, but seems to be missing some open guys. The game has slowed down for him. Now, if you were giving him the reins to make decisions on plays, I think he has taken leaps forward in his ability to read defenses. What do you think of his second half performance?
I'm going to get in that too, because they scored no points in the second half yet.
I'm sorry, what was that, Paul?
They haven't scored any second points halves in the second half yet. Any points?
I mean, that is somewhat of a concern. I mean,
because if you think about it, like a week ago, all those teams came back from big. They were up ahead big, and the teams came back and down they're down 20, 25 points, 20, 21 points. They all came back. I mean, we didn't play anybody yet to do that yet, but it could happen. I mean, they gotta shore that up.
I want to bring up your point that you're saying. Week 1 with the Eagles, 24 first points. Second half, 14 points. Week 2, 24 first half points. 0 second half points. Yesterday's game, 24, 0 second half points. They just got to keep their foot on the gas and just like you said, keep pushing. Don't let off it, Because this team is special. They just got to keep on trucking.
And we got another comment here. Chris Huge Heart. How are you guys feeling about the Jags game outcome? I'll tell you what.
It's going to be a game. Dougie P's
that Jaguars team looks pretty good today. That was one of the few games I actually did call right yesterday because I was all over that Jacksonville. I like the Jaguars outright. Now, I didn't think they were going to win the way they did, but that was an impressive performance beating the Chargers the way they did. That was a big-time win. Chris Rapizzi here. You guys see the meme about Eagles sacked Wentz 9 times, same as Foles' number? He's always in the shadow of Foles.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, well.
That's funny.
Do you see the other meme, too, that someone created? It said that congratulations to A.J. Brown moves past Architego Whiteside for most yards in Eagles.
That's so funny.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, yeah, actually, you want to hear a real funny story? Doug Peterson, I thought maybe it was a joke, but I think it might actually be true. Doug Peterson, with his second win, is now the 5th winningest coach in Jaguars history.
They said that, past
ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy?
Urban Meyer.
He passed Erwin Meyer. Ain't that? Oh, sorry. Ain't that crazy? Man, it's nuts. But
Dougie P moving up that ladder, baby.
hey, I'll tell you what, man. I will forever be a fan of Dougie P. I'm a Jaguars fan because of Dougie P. I mean, obviously, I'm not a Jaguars fan, but I mean, I'd like to see them win that division. You know what I mean? I got no skin in that game. So, to the guy Chris's point about next week. I mean, that's not going to be an easy matchup because the Jaguars are playing some really good football.
Yes, they are.
And Trevor Lawrence, I believe, is 6th in the league in passer efficiency. He, it took him a little while to get going. Like last year, he looked like shit a lot of those games. But this year, for instance, yesterday he was 28 out of 39, 262 with three touchdowns. I mean, he's playing some really good football. Then they got a good running game. James Robinson with 100 yards. They got that kid ETN and Zay Jones, 10 catches, 85 yards. I mean, they got some weapons on that team.
You're also forgetting Christian Kirk's on that team. So is Evan.
Marvin Jones on there too, I think.
Marvin Jones is on that team. So is Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram's their starting tight end.
Yeah.
And even their defense too, man. You got rookies playing. Devin Lloyd, 5 tackles, 2 assists, interception. I mean, the kid.
He's a beast. He's a beast.
Balling.
Listen, they got a Josh Allen on their defensive line too that can get after the quarterback. So I mean, they're going to give Doug. I mean, Doug's going to have that team ready to play.
Yeah.
I just don't think that they're at the same level as the Eagles. Although, let me ask you a question: if you're there, you give Dougie P a standing ovation when they introduce him. I think he gets one.
Oh God!
Absolutely.
He deserves it. I mean, my God, the guy's
He spoke his mind.
Guy's the only guy that ever brought us a Super Bowl, and dude, he outcoached the GOAT in the Super Bowl. I mean, Dougie P put his balls on the fucking table, dog. Like
That's what I'm saying.
Dougie P. Y'all ever see Unforgiven? Remember Unforgiven? Yep. Remember when Clint Eastwood goes, "I'll burn all your fucking houses down"? That was like Doug P, bro. He went into that town. Gene Hackman's like, "I just bought a house." He's like, "I don't care." You know what I mean? Like, he's like, "I'll burn your fucking house down." You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's all I'm saying. Listen, I want to see him get his, due. But
I want to see him leave with an L.
Right.
Yeah.
See him leave with an L.
Yeah, give him his due, but take that L. Yeah, we hand out L's at the link. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, listen, I'd like to see the Eagles do that, because I really do. I'm not if you take a look at the way the NFC is shaped right now, and just looking at all the teams that are in the NFC, do you really think the Eagles can't be a number 1 or number 2 seed?
No, I mean, honestly, I don't want to get ahead of myself too much because, especially as an Eagles fan, you want to pinch yourself and not say, and you don't want to jinx yourself like Ted said, here's Chris Hewhart right here with the question: are the injuries that happened yesterday minor, especially?
Yes.
I was listening to 97.5. They had a guy on. And I think the only one they're really a little bit concerned about is Dickerson because he's kind of hobbling. He's kind of hobbling, but most of the other guys are fine. But you get afraid to say "Oh, I think we're going to be number 1 seed," and then to this guy's point, to a point, it's like then like a guy like even Goddard gets hurt or something. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the one thing about the Super Bowl year though, we got to remember that Super Bowl team had a lot of injuries. And if you remember, that was as Dougie P said, that was the next man up mentality. I mean, look at all the guys they lost. They lost Jason Peters, they lost Hicks, they lost they lost Wentz towards the end of the year.
Yeah,
Sproles.
Sproles. You're exactly right. I mean, Sproles was a big loss that year.
And then they get 2 big running backs with 1-year contracts, Blunt, Ajayi.
Right.
That was big.
So
I'm really starting to think now, the NFL trade deadline is really starting to become what the MLB trade line used to be. When everybody would be getting around the TV to find out who's going where. Well, now it's the same way with the NFL. So I mean, teams ain't gonna stay down for long. But moving on to what you were saying about this team. If the injury bug don't bite them hard, man, they're gonna really shock some people. Not too many people thought they were going to be this good.
Well, and to your point, Howie restructured some contracts coming into the year, and so we have some maneuverability at the trade deadline. So if there's if there's a position of need out there, or maybe if there's a disgruntled player somewhere out there, I mean, Philly's the place. You may see another Jay Ajayi type move.
Well, since you bring
Kareem Hunt, right? Isn't Kareem Hunt one out?
I don't know if you've seen it in Dominic and Sue. They were saying it would be a perfect figure.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
we got a comment. Adam Glenn. Hey Adam, how you doing, man? Thanks for checking in.
What's up?
This is the Sully Squad. Adam checks in on College Football Frenzy a lot. So thanks for checking us out, man.
Yeah, Big Adam checking us out.
Yeah, but no, man. The sky is the limit for this team, though. I mean, I watched that what do you call it? The Packers Bucks game was a good game. But I watched those two teams. I mean, Tampa Bay's got a great defense. Green Bay, obviously they both have great quarterbacks. But
Tampa Bay's banged up on the receiver position.
Yeah.
So they're gonna, once they get healthy, they're gonna be strong again. Green Bay, their receivers. Actually, the young kid had a good game yesterday. Dobbs, whatever his name is, Dobbs.
Yeah.
And you got Lazard over there. So
Yeah.
and the running game is really good. Green Bay too, so they could be a 1-2 eventually.
Yeah, they got a 1-2 punch there, Dylan and Jones.
They could, but I mean, if the Eagles keep playing the way they are, I mean, I think we could be just as good, if not better than them. If I look at, take away the quarterback. I mean, Jalen Hurts is playing great, but resume wise, I mean, I still got to go Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady right now. Obviously, you know what I mean? Because these guys are two of the greatest to ever do it. But you take away that position, and maybe Green Bay with running back, or I would argue the Eagles talent wise in the starters and even some of the backups are having more talented team than both those teams.
True.
I think first off, Tampa Bay's offensive line is in shambles right now. Eagles' offensive line is elite. You know what I mean? And Eagles' offensive line is better than the Packers' offensive line.
Well, listen, I just want to bring something up to you. Going into yesterday's game, Eagles' offensive line was ranked number 1 by Pro Football Focus, number 1. The Commanders' offensive line was ranked 8th.
Right.
So you saw what our defense did to the 8th best offensive line in the NFL, according to those guys. So, I mean, to me, I'll sign up. I mean, you're in trouble when you got Charles Leno Jr. playing your left tackle. That's the guy who used to play for the Bears. Now he's in Washington. And I'm sorry, he was getting abused. He was getting tossed around left and right. But the main thing he was getting tossed. But I want to ask you guys a quick question. With the running backs, how soon before you think we start seeing Trey Sermon starting to suit up for the Birds?
This weekend.
I would love to. I would love to see him.
Look at what Sanders did. Sanders showed me nothing.
But but you got to also look at
the contract. But I want to see something. I want to see this team with a running back get up the hole, run it, not like the old days with Byers, Jordy Garner, Ricky Waters. None of this stuff, man. And it's been a while since we've seen that. Since the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we got to come. Do we feel like we need to sign a short yardage back like Jordan Howard? I feel like that kid Trey Sermon could fill that.
That Sermon's
neck issue.
Yeah, see, Boston Scott only got like 2 carries yesterday, so they're not even going to the secondary backs.
Yeah, not now, but I would like to. You said he's got a neck issue, Sermon?
No. Howard, Jordan Howard.
Oh yeah. His neck. He's got a pinched nerve.
Yeah, he's still out on the FA market, so he's no one signed him. Man.
What is he? 6 something? He's your perfect big back.
Yo, he's got power and speed. Like I thought.
He played with Jalen in Oklahoma.
No, he didn't. He played at Ohio State.
He has some kind of connection. They were saying with Hurts, but anyway.
Well, maybe he might have. Maybe you know what? You may be right. He may have been at Oklahoma first and then transferred.
Yeah.
But I do know he played at Ohio State.
He was. That's the thing. He was at Oklahoma, and then he was stuck behind somebody. And he said, "I'm going to Ohio State."
It says right here he played at Oklahoma and Ohio State. So probably that's probably the
right.
That's like you said Sunday. I want to see Sunday.
I just want to see him get some carries because he's the type of dude that like. If you hit him, he's going to drag guys.
He's a pinball.
Yeah, he's going to drag guys.
Yeah.
And I'm tired of this 3rd and 1. Like
stop and go.
Yeah, no, it's not that, but it's like if it's 3rd and 1, I don't want Jalen doing this anymore. This is why you get a big back.
Yeah.
You keep Jalen upright, man. The less hits
so we don't get banged up. Yeah.
Less hits, man. The more he's in there.
Yeah, I mean. Excuse me. To your point about Miles Sanders, though, like in all fairness, yesterday he struggled, but the first 2 games he ran really well.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean?
I'm not a fan of his running style.
No, I agree. I mean, the thing about Miles is like sometimes he sometimes he'll take like the 2-3 yard loss when you just want to go upfield. You know what I'm saying? But
just like Mike said, you get that ball and bang it. Just run. Don't stop. And so you just got to go at it.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I thought like when they picked Sermon up, I was like, cool. They got that Jordan Howard type back now with him. And I'm not going to get on Sanders for yesterday. Dude, that defensive front for Washington is nasty. Okay? Yeah. And they got two good linebackers in Holcomb and Davis. So, like, their front six, I say out of their front seven, 6 of the 7 are damn good. Right. I mean, you got to remember, too, they're playing without Chase Young.
Yeah, Chase
You know what I mean? So, like, you know, Chase Young would have been in there. You know, he might have been a little more havoc being caused. But, I mean, yeah, Deron Payne, you had Allen, you know, those guys were playing their hearts out.
Yeah,
and I'll tell you,
Montez Sweat. I mean,
Montez Sweat.
They invested a lot of high draft picks into that defensive line. You know?
Dude, that kid Holcomb, the linebacker for them, him and Jamin Davis, those two linebackers, they were all over the field yesterday.
That's how he was last year, man. He was everywhere last year, man. He was sideline to sideline.
Bro, that kid can cover some ground, and he can hit. Like, I seen him moving, man. And he was taking on Mailata on a lot of blocks. Like, when we were trying to run. I got to give that kid credit, man. Like, they have a pretty good teams. Oh, our boy checking in.
Yeah, here's our man Paul Spencer. You can check him out on the Out of Box Network. He does a Cowboys show on what is it? A UFC show. Yeah, Cowboys shows Wednesday nights. College football show with us, and he does a UFC show. He does all kinds of shows. But anyway,
yo, tomorrow he's got the 13th ranked boxer in the world going to be live on this UFC/boxing show. You know, Fight Club 215. So make sure you definitely check that out.
Yeah, definitely. So he says, "What's up, boys?
Paul?
Thoughts on Peters playing left guard Monday Night Football tonight and hype for tomorrow?" Oh yeah, that's what he's talking about for tomorrow. Yeah, I mean tonight's game's going to be interesting, and that's actually an interesting question. So, as Eagles fans, you know, who do we root for? Because you know, like the Giants could go to 3-0, but do any of us really believe in the Giants? I think they're kind of a fraudulent 3-0 myself.
I'm hoping for a tie, like I said earlier.
Yeah, I'm almost hoping.
So nobody wins. Nobody wins.
I'm almost hoping it makes more sense to get the Cowboys another loss before Dak comes back.
That makes me more happier. Yeah, but I'm with Paul.
I mean, I'm not going to sit there and actively root either way. You know what I mean? Yeah. So whatever happens, happens. But what do you think, Mike? I mean, what do you think's the best for us?
I think that I think a lot of people are kind of.
Isn't Gallup coming back tonight too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and I'll tell you what, a lot of people are sleeping on the Cowboys. Yeah. And here's the thing.
Cooper Rush played a good game, man.
Yeah, he's no slouch in quarterback, man. I mean, you use a little bit with him in there without Prescott, but he's no slouch, though.
That's what I said. But like a lot of Eagle fans, you know, a lot of us Eagle fans kind of took for granted that, you know, Dak got hurt, and a lot of our fan base is like, oh well, their season's done. I'm not sold yet on Dallas being done. Number one, they've been running the ball very well. And you know, a lot of people, I know we like to joke about Zeke and call him, you know, the half-shirt fat guy, you know. But I got to give it to him. He's been running the ball. Last week, they finally started letting Tony Pollard run the ball. And I told you, I'm not sold on that Giants defense. I'm not sold on Kayvon Thibodeau. I don't care. Like I said, I don't care that he's making his first start tonight. You guys, the whole nation's going to see that dude's a bust. And I'm just going to be laughing. But I got the boys winning tonight, Joe. I think the boys are going to win. You know what? Listen, I want them to be healthy when they come here week 5. No excuses.
Yeah,
no excuses. Mano y mano.
That's when they're saying Prescott's supposed to be back is against us.
Oh, well, hey, welcome back. But, I mean, the only thing is, it's still going to be kind of unfair if he does come back in that game against us because he's got the same hand injury that Russell Wilson had. So, Dak was already erratic beforehand.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so he's even going to be more erratic. You know, or they're going to continue to hand the ball off. So, you know, like I said, I can't wait. I'm chomping at the bits. And here's the reason why I'm chomping. Joe, did you watch the end of the Monday night game, right, when Jalen Hurts was being interviewed? Did you guys hear what he said when he was talking with Lisa Salters? He said, my first Monday night game didn't go so well. It's a bad taste in my mouth. One that I'm going to have to get out. He goes, yeah, we came out here and did our thing. Dude, if you don't tell me right now that kid don't have the Cowboys game circled on his calendar.
He's looking at his shots. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's sitting there going, okay, now I got some receivers.
Yeah.
You got your offense, we got ours. It's on. You got your good defense, we got ours. And I think that's going to be a great matchup going forward.
Yeah.
But until then, it is what it is.
No, I agree. So you think, right? So you like Dallas tonight? Yeah, let's get him on because I want to move on to the Phillies in a minute. But let's all right. So you got Dallas winning the night. Paul, what do you think? Giants, Cowboys. What you think?
I'm not even saying this because I hate the Cowboys. I don't like the Giants either. But I feel the Giants pull this out like 24-21.
I got Giants. I got Cowboys 27-24. So,
Sean, what do you think?
Cowboys 28-21.
All right, and then real quick, since we're going to move on to the Phillies. Here we go. Let me get another one here. Paul Spencer says Cowboys 29, Giants 23. Okay. I could see that, but all right. So real quick, what do we think about next week's Because by the time we come on next week, it'll be after the game. So what do you guys think of the next week's Eagles game? How do you think that plays? I think we're 7-point favorites right now.
I like it. I see us winning. It's going to be a nail biter, as you saw with the Jacksonville Jaguars did with the Chargers. There are no pushovers, no slouch. So I think they're going to be ready to play.
So what's the prediction?
Eagles 31-28.
Wow, you have a high scoring game. Okay, I'm going to say Eagles 27-17. Paul, what about you?
I think Jaguars is going to hang with us for a while, and I think we finally score some points in the second half. I say 34-24.
All right, Mike, what do you think, bro?
I see the Eagles scoring 34 points. I don't see the Jaguars scoring more than 21. So I'm looking 34-21.
All right, sounds good, man. Well, listen, hey, let's keep it real. We could get wrapped up. We could talk NFL all day long. I know I can, especially with the first place team and the great game we had yesterday. But we got a baseball team in this town trying to make the playoffs for the first time in 11 years. So, but before we do that, let me just get a quick shout out to our sponsors here. Anybody check out our man David R. Cherry Esquire for any workers' compensation, motor vehicle accidents, personal injury, or criminal law. You could call him at 610-565-0300 or go on www.cherryinjurylaw.com. It was nice to see nobody fell on any railings yesterday. So David would have been anticipating some calls last year, I'm sure. Anyway, and then Mike already touched on this earlier. Philly Sports tailgates, Philly Sports Strips tailgates. They do a great job. The next one, it looks like it's against Arizona. And then also there's a tailgates for every home game down at the Navy Yard, the Gatehouse at the Navy Yard. So check that out. Edge of Philly Sports and the Painted Lines do a pregame show, a halftime show, and a postgame show. For every Eagles game. So check that out, www.eopsports.com. Also, this coming Sunday, October 2nd, starting at 11 a.m. down at the South House. That's where the pre- and post-game show will be this week at 2535 South 13th Street, Philadelphia, PA. Check out the Edge of Philly lineup here. Check out all the shows. Give us a like and a listen. And, check it out, and let's get ready for this playoff push here. Like I said, it's we got a big Phillies week coming up here. What do you guys think, man? I mean, we split with the Braves. Looking at this week ahead.
Looking at the Cubs, and then
National
10-game road trip. Starting with the Cubs tomorrow.
Yeah, Nationals, Astros.
Yeah. So. And I'm looking at these other schedules here. It looks like we're a game and a half behind San Diego.
San Diego has a game and a half up on the Brewers.
Right. So San Diego has 3 with the Dodgers, 3 with the White Sox, and 3 with San Fran. San Diego's schedule is a little bit tougher than Milwaukee's. Now, Milwaukee has 2 versus St. Louis, 4 versus the Marlins, and 3 versus Arizona. So, you got to be. Let's be honest. If we're trying to end this drought, the Phillies better win 5 out of these 6 games versus the Cubs and the Nationals. Otherwise, we might have some serious issues because Houston is probably going to play their guys because they're going to have a long break. So Houston, Houston won't have the intensity because they've already clinched everything, but they're going to play their guys. So I don't want to have to depend on beating the Astros in that last series.
True.
What's your guys?
We need to pay back the Cubs. They swept us after the All-Star break. Now it's payback time, so we need to sweep them. We definitely should sweep them. We should definitely beat the Nationals. We need to beat up on those 2 teams.
Yeah, I honestly, I thought the Phillies got screwed yesterday. Like, they were up 6-5. They already completed the top of the 5th inning. They had already called the game like that already this year. And if you remember, it was Syndergaard's first start. They did the same thing. So you made these guys wait around for 6.5 hours.
Rain delays kick your ass. You're right. Yeah.
No, that game should have been called. And to make them go back out, as soon as I heard that when we were coming back from D.C. and we heard that they were in a rain delay, we all just looked at each other like, dude, it's 6 o'clock. Like, this game started at the same time the Phillies, the Eagles game did. We're like, hold up. Yeah. We're like, and we were, even me and Big Al Safiri were talking about it. I was like, dude, that's bull. They should have called that. They should have called.
I agree. The only thing I would say is because it has playoff implications. Braves are so pushing the Mets for the division. We're trying to make the playoffs, so I guess they don't want to play those sides. You know what I mean?
Oh man, that's bull. If you have a rain delay longer than 4 hours and you've already completed 5, that's why there's a rule there stating after the top of the 5th inning, if the home team is winning, it's a loss. That's why that rule's in place. To me, no, that was somebody else who had something other going on there, because you don't do that, especially when you already did it. You already did it earlier on in the season. They did it a couple times, so that's bull, man. The Phillies got robbed yesterday, but like you said, we got 10 against the Cubs and the Nationals. They better go at least 9-1 or 8-2.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Steve. I missed this one. Steve said about yesterday with the railings. They put up a sign, leaning and rolling is prohibited. Okay, cool. Yeah, they had to do that.
It was doubled too. It wasn't just one railing. There was 2 there.
Yeah.
Doubled. So.
Nah, but I'm sitting here now, and like I said, I'm looking at these. I'm looking at the Brewers' schedule. They could win 6 of their last 7. So we got to hope that the Cardinals find a way to beat them one of these 2 games.
Listen. All the Phillies got to do is worry about themselves. The Phillies are in right now. You know what I'm saying? They are definitely, and everybody's so worried about these Brewers. Do they not forget that the Phillies own the head-to-head? The team that you're going to watch fall out of this is the Padres. Dude, no, listen, they got the Dodgers for 3, and then they finish up with the Giants. That's 2 division rivals, and both teams are going to love to eliminate them.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah, no,
spoiler.
I was going to say, I agree with you, Mike. I could actually see that scenario because, the Dodgers don't have anything to play for. But again, they gotta play their guys because you're not going to baseball. You can't be off 2 weeks in baseball.
Dude, listen, they hate the Padres. That's a hated series. So they'll play their guys just to knock them out. And same thing with the Padres and the Giants. That's also a hated series. You know what I mean? The Phillies just got to take care of their own business. They win 8 games, they're in.
Yeah, here's our man Joaquin Stable. It's going to be tight. What's up, dog? He says,
"What's up, Joaquin?"
Please. Yeah, man, we definitely need a red October because
it's been a while.
If we don't get in there this year, it's you start thinking damn, dude,
we're never going to get in.
We're like the New York Jets of baseball.
But I'll tell you what, if they do get in, they're going to be a tough out. They're going to be a tough out.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing, this is why I said I don't care. Matty B,
What's up, dog? He says, who are the Phillies?
If they get in, though, I don't care where they get in at. Because you already saw we match up well with the Braves. I don't want to hear that shit. I mean, yeah, the Braves took the season series, but again, yeah, whatever. They match up good. I want to play St. Louis, to be honest with you. I feel like we owe them fuckers.
Yeah, well, we owe them from 20. We owe them from
2011.
And
We owe them.
And real quick, for good Phillies talk, make sure you check out Matty B with the Fighting's Final after every Phillies game. So check him out. He does
right here on the EOP, man. Definitely, Matty brings the fire, and he loves Howie Roseman for some reason too. He loves him.
I'm waiting for that sign for him.
Yeah, he's Matty B is like Howie Roseman's #1 fan, I think. Matty B, Mets or bust.
I don't think the Mets. I really don't.
They're gonna collapse, man.
You really think so?
I think the Braves are going to win the division. I really do. I think the Braves catch them and beat them.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't even looked at their schedule. I was just so focused on the Phillies. Let me see what the Mets schedule is here. But
they got 3 in Atlanta this week. I know that.
Oh well then that's yeah. But the Mets, I think the Mets are a game and a half up, and they hold the tiebreaker. So
right now they do, yeah, but they finish out.
Yeah. Okay. So right here, the Mets got the Mets host the Marlins for
Marlins, yeah.
Mets host the Marlins for, is it 2 or 3? It must be 3.
No,
because I don't
2.
see
No, 2 for 2 with the Marlins.
And then they got 3. Then they got 3 with the Braves. Then they host the Nationals. Well, unless the Braves sweep, unless the Braves sweep them, the Mets are probably getting in.
Oh, no, they already clinched the playoff spot.
I meant division.
No, listen, don't hold them up, because the last time they played Washington, they lost 2 out of 3 to the Nationals.
Yeah.
The Nats took 2 out of 3 from them the last time they played them. So that's another reason why I'm a little worried about this Nats series with the Phillies, because the Nats have been playing pretty good ball lately.
Yeah.
Like playing spoiler, but because if you take a look, literally within a back-to-back series, dude, they took 4 out of 6 games between the Braves and the Mets. Did the Nats. So, like I said, I don't think the Braves are going to repeat, Paul. No. I think the best team in the National League is the Dodgers. And until somebody knocks them off, they're still the best team.
Yeah, well, that would be a nice payday, though. $50 for 1,200. That's a nice. Hey, that's definitely worth the risk, because the Braves definitely could get there. I mean, they're definitely good enough,
Listen, I'm waiting to see what the odds are with the Phillies once it starts, and then once I see what it starts, I'm throwing a little shekels on the Phillies, because they're going to be the team that nobody wants to play. I'm telling you, even the Mets don't want to play them.
Yeah, well, if you think about it, especially the Mets, because the Mets kicked our ass all year, and then if you're a Mets fan, that would be like. That would be like the ultimate, to beat the Phillies' ass all year, come down here to Citizens Bank, take over the stadium, and then the Phillies beat them in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It would be the greatest thing in the world. I would talk so much shit.
That would be great.
Yeah, Matty B with an interesting question. What's your playoff rotation? I mean, it's Suarez has turned it around a little bit, so I feel like it's got to be Wheeler, Nola, Suarez, and then the fourth.
Eflin.
Eflin. I like Eflin in the bullpen.
I think they're setting Eflin up for the bullpen.
Yeah.
The fourth.
Falter, right?
Falter. You got to go Bailey. Bailey's been the stopper all year. He had one bad outing, and that was just this past week. Weekend.
I'll tell you what. You definitely can't go Kyle Gibson, because he's really
what a disaster he's been, man.
Yeah, he's been like I've been calling him the best 2 out of 3. You get 3 starts from him, 2 of them will be good. That last one is just bad. So with him, he's the guy I would bring out of the bullpen. Same thing with Syndergaard. Syndergaard hasn't impressed me either. Yeah. But again, we all know, though, coming off Tommy John, it takes about a year before you're back. Like next year, I think he'll be throwing hard again. I just don't think he trusts his fastball right now. I don't think he's got enough zip on it. So with that being said, I would put him and Gibson out of the bullpen. They would be guys that you would bring in if you needed them for, a 1-game playoff. But I love Bailey Falter. I really do, man. I think that kid should be given an opportunity. He's been our stopper all year.
Yeah.
Every time he's been up, he's been our stopper.
Yeah, here's some concerning news from the other day. Brad Hand is hurt, so we wound up calling up Chris Davinsky.
Used to be a setup man for the Astros, I think.
Yes, but the fact that we're taking a lot of hits to this bullpen, because Sir Anthony Dominguez doesn't look right since he came back. He doesn't look right. I mean,
he's hot and cold, man.
Yeah,
Alvarez looks pretty good too now.
Alvarado.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah. I think that.
I'm sorry, Alvarado.
Yeah, but I think that stint pull, like you said, I think him being down in the minors kind of cleared his head. It's like, look, man, I'm in the big show. I've been part of it. It's either put up or shut up.
That's why I like Eflin too. Like as Sean said, Eflin coming out of the bullpen could be really good because Eflin can throw.
Yeah.
And Eflin's usually good for the first 5 innings anyway.
Right.
So if you only need him for 5 innings, if you only need him for an inning, you can use him 5 straight games. You know what I mean? They have him set up.
Different kind of like a change of pace in
right.
pitching. Starter and bullpen. I think he'll fit very well there.
Hey, remember in 08? Now he did this before 08, but remember Brian Madsen used to be a starter, and he came in as a setup guy.
Brett Myers too.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, Madsen wound up throwing gas. Because the thing is, Eflin was a pretty high-rated prospect at one point, but he's had so many injury problems, and he doesn't have the durability. But I kind of wonder if maybe his future is in the bullpen. A guy
maybe.
You know what I'm saying?
Look at Smoltz. You're right. Maybe it can factor where he can find a home there, and it's less stress on you. You're not throwing those innings.
And don't forget too, we're getting Castellanos back pretty soon too for our lineup as well. So.
Yeah, I think he's due back Wednesday, right?
Yeah, Wednesday. He said he's not doing rehab. He said absolutely no rehab stint.
Doesn't that make you a little nervous though? I mean, he hasn't seen
live. That's what Matty B said on the show. Yeah,
he hasn't seen live pitching in like 3 weeks, and then all of a sudden he's going to go right out there and in the biggest games of the year. Like that makes me a little.
Dude, he's a pro hitter. Like Castellanos is a pro hitter. Like if there's somebody that could just do that, it's him. Okay. Like he's been I watched this dude since he came up with the Tigers.
Mm-hmm.
And he is a professional hitter, dude. Like, he's going to come up. He loves to rake. So, I think it may take him a game to get his swing or timing back, but, okay, it's only a game. So it's 3 at-bats. I think after his first at-bat, he's going to be set and ready to go.
Yeah, well, we got to get Bryce going. I'll tell you, so yesterday was a loss, but one of the most encouraging things was that Schwarber went deep. Went deep twice, and if we could get him going this final week, that could be absolutely huge. Let's get him hot going into the playoffs,
Dude, are you down Bryce 1 or 2 games?
No,
you can't.
Bryce is your guy. Even if Bryce isn't right, his presence. He's got to be out there. Because the thing is, he could go from not being right to possibly finding it, and next thing you know, he could be red hot for a week or 2.
Well, look at the game when he came back from his thumb injury. Bases loaded, nice little single. Right? Yeah, I agree. I mean, he changed the game with his presence, like you said.
So what are you guys looking at for records over this next 10?
Yeah, that's exactly. That's what right. So that's what I was thinking. So the Phillies got all right. So I'm going to say Phillies got. I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to say the Phillies go 6. I'm going to say the Phillies go 7-2. I'm going to go.
That's only 9. I'm going
to go confident. I say we go 7-2.
7-2 is 9 games.
That's only 9 games. They got 10 games.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My bad. I say 7-3 then. My bad. So I say the Phillies go 7-3. I'm going to say the Padres lose 2 or 3 to the Dodgers, lose a game to the White Sox, and they lose 2 or 3 to the Giants, and possibly the Padres choke their way out of the playoffs. I'm kind of feeling what you say, Mike. Milwaukee, I'm going to say they split with St. Louis. They take 3 or 4 from Miami, and they
watch out for that Arizona. Arizona is that in Arizona, that series, or is that in Milwaukee?
It's in Milwaukee. Matty B says no way, 6-4 at best.
Nah, I think with this one, I'm going higher than you, Joe. I'm going 8-2.
Wow.
I'm going 8-2. They've owned the Nationals, and I think Paul got a little bit right there with the whole. They swept us after the All-Star. Chicago ain't got nothing to play for, man. Yeah. That's going to be batting practice for the next 3 days. Like, you want to see Bryce get right? This is where the series where he starts getting right. Okay. And he gets to go back to D.C. What better way than to stick it to them in their final games? So I think over the next, I got him going 8-2. Honestly,
all right.
Sorry, guys.
No, I was gonna say. So if that's the case, by the time we do this show next Monday night, are we already in the playoffs? Pretty much. Is it?
Yep. I think they clinched it. They clinched this week.
All right, Paul. What do you think, bro?
I like what Mike's saying too, but I'm gonna be a little lesser. I'm gonna be the same as you, 7-3. It's hard. It's hard to sweep teams. It can, it does happen, but it's hard. And then Astros can give us fits sometimes too. I think so. I'm going 7-3 as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking. I have us losing 2 out of 3 to Houston, and then losing one of the games between the Cubs and the Nationals. So, sweeping 1 and losing 1 to them. So that's where I'm going with the 3. But all right, well, hey, let's hope we get it. Did you made your prediction right?
7-3. I agree.
7-3.
Yeah, I couldn't agree better.
All right, we got another comment here. Enterprise Sports says they better get their pitching together.
True.
Well, I mean, you just gotta watch Kyle Gibson because he's been out there acting a fool, man.
Yeah.
That game pissed me off yesterday.
We need that bullpen to liven up and just stay its course, man. Just like it was earlier in the season.
Yeah. Well, look. Well, we're gonna get ready to wrap it up out of here. So, hopefully by the time we're on here next week, hopefully we have another Eagles W.
Yeah.
Hopefully Phillies are already in the playoffs. And Mike, thank you for hopping on, bro. It's always great. Thanks, doing Mike. A show with you.
See you, Mike.
I know Mike. I know you and I do the college football show, college football frenzies. I'm not going to be able to be on it this week. But Mike, where else could people check you out?
You can check me out. Besides Wednesday night with Big Joe doing the college football frenzy, I'm also on every Thursday night Out of the Box Network with Big Mike's 4for4 Locker Room Podcast. Definitely check that out. We're going to be recapping the Eagles, throwing a little bit of Phillies in there. Looking forward ahead to Dougie P's return like we were tonight. And, some Flyers news. They got their season started. They're already 1-0. Yeah. Stanley Cup, here we come, baby. So, so we're going to be touching on all those things. And then Saturday, not Sunday, because Saturday we're going to be in studio here at EOP. Me and Pat, Mr. Red Rocket. Bernard. Me and Pat, Red Rocket Bernard, will be taking care of the Gobbler Inc. on Saturday morning instead of Sunday. Because I'm actually doing the post game Sunday for Edge of Philly Sports, so we're going to be down at the South Philly House, right? It's called South Philly.
Yeah.
South Philly House. We'll be down there. I'll be down there. We're going to be having a blast. So that's where you guys can see me. And filling Diego's shoes is very hard. He got some big shoes for a little dude.
And shout out to Diego for getting engaged. Everybody knows.
Yes. See, look. This is what I got to deal with on a Sunday. Now it's Saturday. This is what I got to deal with. People don't believe me. They think Pat from Ambler's a great guy.
There is hope.
Yeah. I was gonna say, congrats to our boy Diego out there. Congrats. Yeah, congrats. And Diego's having a great time in Vegas. So
he stays in Vegas.
Yep.
So, I wonder, is Diego going to get married by Elvis? I mean, he just got engaged, right? So maybe they're going to get engaged and then get married by Elvis. That'd be great.
You never know.
Well, you know what's funny? At least he didn't pull the wedding singer. Remember the wedding singer where the guy's on the plane and he's like, should we get married first and then have fun? Or, like, remember, he's like,
or do a hangover.
Hey, some asshole said looks like Don Johnson just grabbed my ass and said I look like grade A, top of the line meat. So, yeah, remember, nobody messes with Billy Idol. Remember that.
That's right.
But, all right, guys. Well, look, it's been
Yeah.
real. Go Eagles, go Birds, go Phillies, and we'll see you next week. Have
Take
a
it
good
easy,
one.
man.